Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag. Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag.
All right, here we go. All right, something a little different tonight. Hey, not bad.
What's up, Randy?
What's going on?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, what is going on? And what is up out there to everybody watching? Welcome to another night of SportsBites, the self-proclaimed #1 sports podcast, bringing you the best of both worlds, sports and snacks. I am your host tonight, Randall Horn. New format tonight, brought with a couple great guests. I know we've had them before. You all know them. You all love them. We've got my brother on one mic, Don Schro.
Yes, sir. How we doing?
Doing well, doing well. Good to have you, Don. On the other mic tonight, we've got Dr. Mike, the famous Dr. Mike, the man, the myth, the legend, right here, my good friend.
What's up, man?
What is up? What's up? What's up?
Nice seeing you, Don.
Great to see you too, brother.
Glad to have you guys here tonight. This is going to be awesome. I'm excited about this. We've not done this before, and I feel like,
Very
you know,
excited.
after looking at some stuff that we've all gone over a little bit, I'm really excited about this. I feel like this is really going to go in a good direction. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to kind of toss it out there and watch you two just, you know, fight like friggin' animals. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I will do my very, very best to be civil,
Not jump across the table.
but I make no promises.
No promises. No promises. All right. Well, we're going to start off on a funny note already. You know, we're just normal guys doing this podcast. So in an effort to not have to knock all this stuff off the table, Brent, would you do me a great favor and grab that drink off the counter that
Sure,
I
yeah,
left
man.
over there?
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
With the
It's
drink.
ruined now. We done
There you
ruined
go.
it. We done ruined it. All right, man. I appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to put
Get it
this
back.
up here. We don't want to have a spill incident on the
Right.
on the soundboard. All right. So, again, great to have you guys here tonight. I'm really excited. A little bit different format tonight. We're going to
Yes,
try
sir.
some new things. We've said it since the beginning of the year. We're going to try some different things. We're going to do some different things this year. We're going to really get this thing fired off. Again, glad to have you guys here tonight. Glad to have all of you out there watching. We're really excited.
Thank you.
Extremely excited to have all of y'all here. We start this thing off pretty much the same way just about every time. Let's start this off. Everybody, let's get these likes. Let's get these subscribes. Comment on these videos. We want to hear what you have to say on all of them, even old videos. Comment on them.
It's at the bottom of the video. Just click the button. It literally takes
Anything
one
you have
half
questions
of
about,
1 second.
Anything.
Please, just go click the little buttons and tell us how great we are in
Exactly.
the comments. I would really like that. I need a
Exactly.
confidence boost.
Easy to make an account. It takes about 10 to 15 seconds. If you don't have one, make your own. It's free. Okay, free. No payment involved. And you can subscribe to our channel. See us whenever we make a video. You get notifications. That's how we do it.
Because this thing is blowing up, people. Get on board now.
We've had 11 subscribers in the last 4 days.
Get on the train early and get your seats before they're all gone. No, I'm kidding. Infinite seats
Yeah,
on this thing,
infinite
people.
seats.
Infinite
Many
seats.
as we
Infinite
want.
seats. All right. Well, that being said, let's start off. We are up to 34 subscribers. I know 34, everybody's like, oh, 34 subscribers, not bad. That's amazing. That's amazing in the time we've been doing this that we've already got up to 34. And more than that being amazing, what's really amazing and what I'm super excited about, we're 16 subscribers away from our first giveaway.
Mhm.
I am amped about this.
No, that's
I am
way.
this close.
I am
Yeah,
This
amped.
close.
I think we're gonna get it this week.
I think
have a
so.
good feeling.
I have a really good feeling about it too. Let me reiterate one more time, people. This is the easiest giveaway to get in. Yes, they get bigger as we go, but this is the easiest one. Fit 1 out of 50. You've got the best odds on this thing. Jump in this first 50. Let's get these names on there. Let's get these subscribers part of the channel. Be a part of Sports Bites. Get in this giveaway. We're really excited for this first one. We're going to do a live giveaway when we hit the 50 subscribers. Excited for it. I'm excited. You
All
excited?
right. Yeah, no, dude, I'm
Pumped up,
pumped.
man.
Let's
Pumped
do this.
up about it.
I am extremely amped. So, just like always, let's start this thing off tonight. So, I know we kind of went back and forth a little bit today on our snack reviews. I see that we had decided on probably my most hated snack. My most hated snack. I'm not a pretzel guy. I am
You
not
have a
pretzel guy.
Philadelphia shirt on. You're telling me you don't like pretzels,
I
bro?
have a feeling.
No. You're right. But I take it back. I don't like bagged pretzels. Fresh hot
Well, look
pretzel.
at you, bougie Randy. I don't like bagged
Hey
pretzels.
man, I'm saying I got the
We'll
polo.
see.
I got the
We'll see what
polo
he
tonight.
says.
That's right.
you know
You're
what I'm saying?
Randall. Classy Randall.
Yeah.
So tonight you guys killed it tonight, by the way. We've got like a plethora of all kinds of stuff. So we've got Snyder's twisted pretzel sticks. We got sour cream and onion.
Very delicious.
I'm ready to pair that up with one of these dips.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's going to make the difference.
We also have Dots Homestyle Pretzels original season. Now, Donnie was huge on this.
That's like my favorite go-to snack, no matter what game, no matter what.
They've got different flavors.
Give it a
The
little
OG
dip.
is very
It's-
good.
I don't know if I've ever had these, so I can't knock on the
they're
bag
very
pretzels.
I think Brent's had them.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
I think they have like a honey mustard,
Yeah.
a spicy honey mustard or something.
Buffalo seasoning.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
Cheetos
Yeah, it's
with
good.
seasoning on it.
Cheddar, yeah, cheddar.
Yeah.
Small town recipe, big time flavor. I'm excited to try them.
Shout
Even
out
if-
Dot. Shout out
Yeah,
Dot for
it
making the
says
pretzels.
on the back, who made it. All the
Oh, I think there's a
history.
grandma on the back.
Yeah, the
Oh,
history,
oh,
the
okay.
background, Miss
Oh, she's
Dot.
not that old.
and-
Dots.
yeah,
I thought it was old granny.
kind of.
I mean, no, hold on. She looks very good.
Dots Homestyle
Gotta give her
Pretzels,
some credit,
special
though.
family snack created many years ago by Dot herself in her home kitchen.
Good for her.
All right,
Yeah.
I am down. And
Dot's
then on
killing
top
it.
of that, as if the pretzels weren't enough,
Got some dip
we've got a couple. Let's see here. We got Taste of the South dips right here. We got Taste of the South fried pickle and ranch dip.
Mhm.
I love fried
Okay.
pickles, dude. My
Okay.
son loves fried pickles.
We got Smokehouse beef
Good.
brisket dip. Those are two very
Yep. I thought
wild and out
Very
there.
good
Yeah, I thought-
selections.
when I think Smokehouse, I think Kansas City.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
true.
You know, and
True.
as a Ravens fan,
True.
they're in the forefront of my mind right now. I can't stop thinking about
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yep.
It'll be a
Yep.
big, big game.
But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about
The
it.
last one we got. What do we got?
We got some
Poblano.
private selection roasted poblano queso blanco. That,
The roasty poblano sounds good.
yeah, that sounds really good.
Got a
I
little
want to
kick,
put that
got
on
a
some
little nice
chips
kick
with
to
like
it.
some chorizo and like toast it up in the oven. That'd be banging.
Yes.
Let's try
Well,
it.
let's
set it off.
crack this
Let's set
thing
it off.
open, man.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing rocking here.
I'm
Y'all brought them. Y'all fire them up.
I'm
I
hoping.
got you right here.
I'm hoping that the sour cream and onion tastes good with the pickle.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
Let's do it on
All
this
right.
one.
Here we go.
Get it rocking.
Boom, 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 boom. So a few of those. Here you go, Randall.
Say, I'm just doing a few. That's good. That's good.
Just a few.
Those. A few of these. See what we got. I have to remember to turn. Okay. I have to remember to turn my microphone off every
About the
time I'm
same
chomping in these
consistency.
things.
I'd take a few of those and dump them in the back room.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Right, sir.
All right. First things
Let's do
first.
the pickle
See those
dip.
dots.
You're doing dips. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. Y'all do your
We'll
dips
do them all
first.
together. We got to review together, you know.
I want to try these things dipless.
Yeah, try them.
I gotta try them
dipless,
dipless.
and then
Let's see here. So
we'll judge.
we're gonna go. I'm gonna go dots first. Let's see what we got. Dots.
Randy, I stepped on my beer over here. That's all
He's okay.
As I said, I was gonna turn this off.
right. Okay.
Action here.
The seasoning is very good.
It's not bad.
Savory. Savory.
Yeah, not bad. Very get a good buttery flavor with it. I like that.
Okay.
Okay, let's see here. So we got that. We got the Snyder's. Let's see.
Oh, you got sour cream and onion?
Favorite pretzel in the world.
Woo! Oh,
Sour cream, very sour creamy.
very oniony.
Oh, very oniony. I can dig it though. I can
Ooh.
dig it.
I don't know if I'm loud about that. It tastes like a foot.
Yeah. Everyone,
I don't mind the
bit.
sour
My own
cream and
taste
onion.
buds.
I don't mind.
I mean, it's all right. I want to try with the dip.
I don't
You want
mind.
to try the pickle dip?
Yeah, let's try it.
That's all the difference right there.
I'll just put a little bit in your bowl there.
There you go. I'm cool with it.
Donnie? You got some?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
But
Donnie
You got
Donnie
the
said I'm prepared. I got this.
All right.
All right, let's see here. So, all right, here
Good.
we go. Let's
very
see.
good.
Little pickle dip with some dots. Let's see what we got. Now again,
Have you ever had
another one that you're going to be like, dude, Randy, what the hell? I don't care for pickles.
Yeah, beef brisket dip.
It's very pickly.
Pickly. But
I don't get a lot of
still has a
fried.
good taste. Definitely what it says it is.
It's lighter on the pickle than I thought it would be, which I can dig. The pickle's almost like a after effect.
Mm-hmm.
You catch that at the end.
I got these at Kroger,
Very,
by
very
the way.
good. Very good.
Anybody?
Yeah.
You want
Same
to
here.
try 'em?
Same here. Kroger's a place.
And for
Now, this brisket one I want to try because I've had the fried
The
pickle one.
brisket is very good.
And for any of y'all who don't have a Kroger anywhere near you, there's this thing called the internet. Order it.
All right, let's go. Have you done the brisket dip yet?
About to
try it
load
with
it.
you,
About to
Randy.
load it up. Just loading it straight in there. Let's see what we got.
This is the longest snack segment we've had, but we're
It's
doing
okay.
it for the people.
I don't know,
doing it for
man.
the people.
We spent 15 minutes roasting our faces off with those damn wings.
Oh my God.
You know,
This
we
was-
spent a
this
minute
one's
or two
good. At
extra on
least we're
this.
trying
Bro,
everything out. So good. The beef brisket,
that brisket dip is wild, dude.
it's so good. It's got a very good
That
taste.
is wild, dude. I don't know how to...
The dots with that is the best.
I feel like I could literally take that spoon and just eat that.
Yeah.
Dude,
The dots with that is like
it's spicy,
That's-
it's smoky, and
yeah.
it's sweet. I get all of it.
primo. Put a little cheese
I'm
with the
saying-
brisket. I'm telling
Bro,
you.
I'm saying right
That'll
now,
change
as of
your
right
life.
now, it's the brisket dip. It's the brisket
That's
dip's
so good.
game to lose.
Yeah.
'Cause
shout out to Sonic Fried Kitchen, whoever made this, who
Yes.
thought of that. Wow.
Sorry, I had to go a little bit.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I do know,
A little
fellas,
bit of energy.
they were out of it. But I know they make a s'mores dip, too.
A what?
S'mores?
Dessert. Little
S'mores.
dessert.
Like
S'mores is like the dip.
marshmallows
Mhm.
and chocolate and graham.
You want some more of what?
Yeah, yeah. And
Right.
then you go,
Some more
and
what?
then what you do is you go get graham crackers, the graham sticks. Dip them right in.
Oh, bro.
My kid loves them.
That's a go-to.
Yeah, that brisket
All right.
dip. All right, I'm well done.
I'm down. Like that was pretty
That was a
good.
good little snack.
I'm gonna tell you, like
That was worth
good,
a little bit.
well-rounded
few
snack.
extra minutes.
that dip right there. On point.
Craveable? Remember I talked last time? Craveable? Would you crave, like, if you were out, maybe you had a few and you're like on your way home and you
Yeah.
know it's waiting in the fridge, you're like,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna kill this
Taking
dip.
it down
Yeah.
tonight. Taking it down tonight.
That's
All
the
right.
planning.
Well,
All right, let's go.
Again,
it
that
rocking, man.
great snacks. Good job. I appreciate that. We're gonna go back to those at the end and kind of throw a little number out at a little bit of all of it. But again, before we get started, one more time, just want to reiterate to all the fans out there, everybody watching, hit those hit those subscribe buttons, get some comments in. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you feel. Let us know anything. Let us know what you don't like about my outfit. I don't really care. I want to hear it. I want to hear it all.
Let us know if you know who made that brisket dip. Get them to subscribe, and then we will sponsor this dip.
Absolutely. Once again, we've said it before. We are not affiliated with any of these companies.
No.
So if anybody knows anyone,
I
Make a phone call.
will spread the good word.
Yes, sir.
all right. Well,
Cracking.
you crazy sports fanatics, let's go ahead and get this fired off. Tonight, we're going to go ahead and fire it off with a little bit of NBA love. First thing I've got tonight that I really want to hit on, I know it was really big. It's gone around the internet a lot. Let's talk about Coach Popovich. A lot of stuff he had to say about Joel, about this game coming up. If I'm not mistaken, his words were, quote, unquote, we're going to hammer his ass. And then it's funny he said that because then, Joel turns around with a little MC Hammer action of his own. You can't touch this, and drops 70 points on him.
Insane.
What a night. What a
Give me
night.
some thoughts. Let me hear what you guys got to think about that.
Yeah, man. Especially after that press conference, I was kind of laughing. I mean, it might have been more of a joking matter, but at the same time, it was fun to see Wembayama versus Embiid just on the same floor, facing each other, guarding each other and scoring on each other. Wembayama still had 33 points in 27 minutes. So when he was playing against Embiid, he did pretty good, but Embiid totally went crazy and set a career high for not just himself, but for the Sixers organization.
Yeah?
And
It's impressive.
Yeah.
See that guy, just a rookie, just come in, and you're backing down one of the best guys in the league.
it just
You're
proves-
backing him down in 33 and what do you say, 27 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
insane.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Insane.
Absolutely.
And, so
Still did a great
he's,
job.
when he first came in, Wemby, when he first came in, people were like, oh, he's too skinny. He looks like a beanstalk. He's not, like, these guys in the league are going to kind of have their way with them.
Yeah.
And so for him to kind of toe the
Assert
line
himself.
and step up against,
One of the greats.
one of the best right now,
Mhm.
it was an impressive performance. I know it got overshadowed by the 70 points, but damn it, impressive performance for that young kid. I'm really anxious to see where his career goes. Maybe he can, resuscitate the Spurs a little
Sky's
bit.
the
Most
limit
definitely.
for him. Sky's
Most
the limit.
definitely. And, Joel, looking like an MVP again. Like, I mean, the guy's ridiculous.
He's
They're-
unstoppable.
Exactly. I mean,
He can
that's
shoot
exactly
from
what I was going to say.
All parts of the floor. He's great.
Until he gets to the playoffs. Then it's a different
He
story.
needs that championship to solidify his destiny. But
Impressive performance.
definitely impressive.
Well, and on top of impressive 70 points, But, let's address the big underlying story in there. Is my man Wilt Stilt, Philadelphia franchise record, 68 points in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Joel takes that record last night.
I'm sure he probably knew that.
And the interview, which it could be, he could just be being modest about it. But I love the interview when they told him, and he's like, Wilt never did that. He didn't do that for us. I thought that was kind of cool because it was kind of just like, hey, showing a little bit of, little humble to the great.
I'm pretty sure he knew.
Little humble to the great. You know what I'm
He
saying?
knew by the end.
Oh, I'm sure.
He had 59 after 3.
You're telling me
he was
somebody
kinda
at the
taking
game
it
was like,
easy.
"Hey, dude, you're really close to breaking the record." Some
he knows.
water boys like, "Hey, you got to do it, bro."
And he was only the third player in history to ever have 70 points and 18 rebounds in the same game. Wilt, Elton Baylor, and himself.
I think there's only been 9 players ever total to even get to 70 total.
Yeah.
9 players total out of every NBA player ever.
Ever to
So
play the
I mean,
game.
that is when they say it's a historic performance. That is a historic performance.
Very.
And I think when you're looking at the end of the year and you're looking at MVP, that is going to stick in people's minds when they go to vote for him.
Yeah.
He could have an above average season the rest of the way, especially if he doesn't hit that number again. But writers and people who voted just like, remember when he dropped 70 on Wemby, and if Wemby ends up having a good season too, they're like, Wemby wasn't that bad.
Yeah, he's good
And he put a 7, and just with him, his length and everything, so when they go to vote, they might be like, he might have won the MVP last night, just on that one game.
Well, and that's
if they go on and have a good season.
His odds went up last night
For sure.
from that game,
Yeah.
literally.
And you're absolutely right, and I love that you bring that up. That the people voting, they look at those things so hardcore. Different sport, but look at Ronald Acuna last year. There was a close race at the end. Everybody was like, well, Mookie's got a shot at it. And then Ronald put 40-70 down for the season, and everyone was like, the moment that number hit the paper, they were like, MVP race is over.
He hit that milestone, an unprecedented number, and I don't know how much more unprecedented you get besides doing it first than 9th player ever.
Yeah.
In NBA ever.
Yeah.
9th player ever. So that is, like I said, shout out to him. Impressive performance, really.
Yep, most definitely. Like, congratulations, Joel Embiid. You put it down that night, man. You put it down to that game. And
it sucks. You want to talk about overshadowing? Carl Anthony Towns in Minnesota. He dropped 62, and it's the same night. And it's the second line. And it's the second line. It's like he just talked about getting overshadowed. Any other night, he goes and drops 62. He's the first story on SportsCenter.
Right.
So it's just like crazy that happened on the same night.
The only problem with him is he did so well in the first half. He had like 8 threes, 44 points in the first half. Their team was up 16 points after 3 quarters. 16 against a Hornets team that's already depleted, already got a lot of guys out.
Depleted is very kind.
They went to him so much in the fourth quarter for no reason. They could spread the ball out. They're up 16. Let your young guys get in because they're looking for Towns now. He's shooting every shot. So the fact that they kept feeding him in the fourth and they were force-feeding him, that was the reason the Hornets got back in the game. And they eventually won the game by 3.
Is LaMelo still out?
I think he was playing last night.
Was he playing?
Him and Miles Bridges, since they've been healthy, they've been doing pretty good. But still, there's no excuse to give up that kind of lead
to that team.
And his big performance, a career-high performance, gets overshadowed, like you said, because they lost. It wasn't in a winning effort. It was in a losing effort.
Absolutely.
So Embiid winning his game, he is the top dog right now.
Yep.
He is the top story in the SportsCenter world because of that. But one more thing real quick. April 9th, 1978 was the one and only time 2 players scored 60 points in the same day. And it was David Thompson with 73, George Gervin with 63. So it's only happened one other time ever. And pretty sure they both won their respective games.
Wow.
The fact that Timberwolves blew that one, it was just
the Timberwolves are a good team, though.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. It's not like
sky's the limit for them. They just blew it one night, I think. I think it was just one night.
Anthony Edwards, was he absent?
He was absent that game. Completely absent. And it was crazy to me that Cat was hitting everything and he didn't do any kind of complimentary role or anything. It was just Cat and only Cat. And if he wasn't scoring, then their offense wasn't.
I like Minnesota. They got a good team this year.
Very good team.
With Gobert and Anthony Towns just in your backcourt,
Edwards,
in your front court.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good duo.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So, yeah, I liked him. I want to see Minnesota be good. I was always a Kevin Garnett fan. And it was nice. Like, KG was just one of those guys who could never break through. Like, he had good games. But, boy, wouldn't it be, like, if KG got a ring. That would have been great.
But shout out to my buddy Bjorn. I've gotten in touch with him the last few days, and we've been talking basketball. He told me himself, just from being a Timberwolves fan his whole life, watching Garnett, obviously not being able to have any championships, but he's been a diehard fan his whole life. He even said that this is probably one of their best teams that they've ever had. So just him saying that right there, I can see the talent level on this team, the potential.
Wait a second. Hold on. I'm dumb. Garnett did win a ring. With Boston.
I was going to say,
though, not
anything
with
is possible, baby. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anything is possible.
Not with the Timberwolves.
I had to think about it. That's what I mean. When I said that, I was thinking about with the Timberwolves.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a second. He did win a ring.
Bjorn, I miss you, buddy.
The first big three, right? He was the first big three.
Yes, correct.
Well, that being said, again, great storylines that night from Pop talking smack. All the points put up that night. Like I said, Joel 70 breaks Wilt's franchise record in Philly of 68. Wilt, of course, moves on to L.A., sets the NBA record all time, 100 points in a game. That's unheard of. No, I mean, that's
never
the most
There's
ridiculous
no
stat.
Only one man to touch that.
That's like putting like NBA 2K on like rookie mode and then just like beating the shit out of everybody on the court.
Lobbing it up the center every time, slam dunk. Or foul, free throw.
Like setting what was it, NBA Street Volume 2 on like the longest quarters you can. And just bless you.
Let's do
Dude,
it
that
again.
brisket is peppery.
It's
It's so good, though.
Just remember, man, lions love pepper. They hate cinnamon. The Hangover, bro.
Come on, man. They got the Tiger, actually. Tiger.
Oh,
in the
Tiger,
bathroom.
yep. You got me. You got me,
Tiger.
Tiger.
All right,
Yep.
okay, no.
Sorry, a little hangover reference right there.
Oh, man.
Woo.
Well, so, going into that, talking about some big things and some anniversaries. While we're talking about Wilt in L.A., let's talk about another big L.A. anniversary. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and take it. I know you were excited for this one.
Yeah, it just so happens the same night that Embiid and Karl Anthony Towns had their career highs in points was the same exact night Kobe had 81. It was January 22nd, 2006, so 18 years ago. And just for them to do that on the same night, they even interviewed Embiid after the game, and he said Kobe was his all-time favorite player. He looked up to him. He balanced his game on the floor based off how he played, and just it was just awesome to see and witness that on the same night of Kobe's 81. And obviously, much love to Kobe and his family and everything. It was
we miss Kobe.
We miss him, man. It was so sad to see everything happen the way it did, but just for that to happen right there, and for his legacy to go down, and for them to do that, especially for him, is awesome.
That's what I was going to say. Is I think Kobe Bryant, not just because of the way things happened, but obviously such an illustrious career. He left such a legacy in the NBA.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was going to do great things.
When you hear everyone talking about LeBron and Michael Jordan and all that stuff, I love, you have to have Kobe. He's one of those names that's just...
He's one of the
He would have gone on to, do great things. He was a great guy, and he would have done great things for his community.
Yeah.
Who knows? He could have been an executive. He could have been a coach.
Oh, he was. He was
my head coach, Kobe Bryant.
He was planning his retirement 2 years
Tell me an
before
NBA guy that wouldn't want to go play for a young kid. Like, I grew up watching this guy. Now he's my head coach.
He's coaching his daughter's team.
Tell me a franchise that's struggling that wouldn't be like, dude, what do we
Phil
need?
Jackson,
we need Kobe Bryant to come in and turn this around for us.
Yeah. I hate thinking about stuff like that. But
shout out Mamba. Rest in power.
His impact is still being made to this day.
Absolutely. Let's move on. Another sad story for some. I know it's just something for us to kind of throw out there and get out there. Let's talk about this Bucks coach firing that's just happened
today. It came down
Adrian
today.
Griffin,
champ.
Dude,
big firing right there. That's
Did I not call the teams to watch out for last podcast? because of that big trade.
They're making
seeing
changes.
how bad they are on defense right now.
They're making
Damian
changes.
is not playing defense. He's playing offense. He's having clutch moments, but it's not enough.
Good.
It's not enough for them.
It's surprising. Like, if you look at it traditionally, like, you've got the second best record in the East. You're not getting fired. You're pushing for a number one seed. Everybody's happy. So you have, like, it'll be curious in the coming days to see what comes out, what the president and the GM were thinking. Like, why make this change right now unless they had something in hand, something specific? And now there's rumors that Doc Rivers might come take this job. Now, people will tell you about Doc Rivers' playoff, not so great.
Yeah.
Not so great. So, but it's just, do they have like that, like last year with their early exit against the Heat, and they, I think they got swept, right? Did they get swept?
I'm not sure.
4-1 or swept.
Or close to that. I mean, just
It was bad.
against the bottom seed, it just had them read that, and they're still obviously very shook by all that. It's if you look at the numbers for this year, last year they were fourth defensively, which is top of the league. This year they're down to 22nd.
Wow.
And bad teams are putting it. I think the Pistons hung over 120 on them. Not
that was
too
a
long.
close game the other night.
Yeah, and they're the
Shouldn't have
Pistons. They're the Pistons. So like, they're just putting these bad defensive performances up, and they know when they get to playoffs, they're going to need a defensive coach. And I don't know what they were like. This guy is in his first year. I think he's only coached 45 games. So then maybe they just thought of him as expendable. But boy, aren't they regretting firing Budenholzer because of this early exit.
It was
and
unbelievable.
the fans, I think, pressured him, like, needed a scapegoat. We're pissed. And so maybe he was just been on rocky terms before them. Maybe there was some strife. I don't know why but it seems like leadership in the Bucks is quick to get rid of coaches. Makes me think, if I were a coach, I wouldn't go play for them.
Exactly.
If they're going to axe Budenholzer, who's taken me to the finals, won me a finals.
Yeah. You got to go back to that team and who they did it with.
Right, and then you bring in this guy who, granted, has a lot of experience, but when you've got big names on the roster, you need a big-time coach to manage all of those egos, all of the. And I'm not saying either one of those guys are egotistical, but I'm just saying it's a lot of star power to deal with, and you bring a guy who is a career assistant coach to come up and be the coach. And so there's like, this isn't working, even though, like I said, second best record. Despite all their defensive inefficiencies, they are second place in the East. So they've got to have something up their sleeve. I don't know, Don. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mentioned it last podcast, I think, about the Bucks being on the downfall, even though their record is so high. Because, in my opinion, I talked about that trade with Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard. They're seeing it now on the defensive side of the ball. Damian can shoot those clutch shots. He can be productive on the offensive end. He cannot guard the other point guard on the other team, no matter what team it is. Pistons included. Kane Cunningham ran all over him. I'm sorry, but he did. And that's a guy you shouldn't be getting destroyed by in any game. And, you're just seeing that, and they've already fired their coach. Drew Holiday is doing so well as a leader on the Celtics, and there's already many leaders on that team already, so they're super stacked. And just getting that mentality off that team, because he had that winning mentality, he had that championship mentality, because they won with him, and he was the main reason. I'm pretty sure he won Series MVP over Giannis because of his defensive ability. So,
God, that last bite was all pickle.
Oh, you got the pickle.
Now.
I thought you got the pepper. I was like, now you know what I'm talking about.
I was wondering why his face soured up like that.
Yeah, it was like good ranch, pickle. Oh,
Snacking is encouraged while we debate, correct?
Yes,
All right,
yes,
cool.
of course.
But yeah,
Sports Bites, baby.
All right,
that's what we're here for.
But yeah, just to see a team like that with so much talent, so much potential. You have Giannis, probably top 3 player in the world right now. You still have Lopez there. You still have Middleton. You signed all your big guys. You let one go that was a part of that winning mentality on that team, and I didn't agree with it whatsoever. I don't see Damian leading them, especially with this year having all those good teams, especially in the West, and you got to battle the Sixers in the East, most likely. So I don't see it.
Well, let's move on from this. We still got a little more NBA. Talking about still on the anniversaries. I know this was a big one. I know you've been looking forward to it all day.
Oh, yeah,
I know this was a huge
This
one
was
that you really
awesome.
wanted to jump into.
This is awesome.
Before we go any further, let's go ahead and jump into it. So, I think you said it was today, right? 31 years ago?
Yep,
today. Team USA, scrimmage against themselves,
Yes, sir.
5-on-5.
Coach said go all in, and they did. And I watched a very short clip earlier of Magic and MJ talking, and they said no matter all of the finals appearances, playoff appearances, crazy close regular season games, this was the best game they've ever played in because 5 on both sides was just ridiculous. Let me name these names out for you. For true basketball fans, you'll know every single one of these names is huge. Magic had Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, David Robinson, and Chris Mullins on a team. Jordan had Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, Scottie Pippen, and Larry Bird. All of which, sir, are Hall of Fame players. And Coach said one day,
not even
they
like
came
first
in-
ballot.
yeah,
Hall of
they
Famers.
came in one day and Coach was like, we're going to do 5-on-5 scrimmage, let it all out there. And they were like, let's go. So Magic was guarding Jordan. Barkley said he wanted
You know
some of
those guys
Pippen.
had to be so
They wanted-
competitive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I
they
mean, when
said-
you're a top guy and you play against other top guys, like you bring
Yes.
out
It brings that extra.
brings out your
Exactly.
best
And that's why he
edge.
said it's the best game he's ever played in because Coach was like, first to 40. First to 40. In your head, okay, cool.
40.
Wanna
That's
go
not
first
a
to
much,
40?
but okay.
Yeah.
But they said the game took so long because there was so many good defensive plays, so many good defensive stands. And they had the play clock running, and the shot clock, everything, just like a real game.
Do you know who
man.
ended up winning?
And the white team had Jordan, Malone, Ewing, Pippen, and Bird. They won 40-36 against the
God.
black team, Magic, Barkley, Drexler, Robinson, and Mullins. So it was a very tight battle for sure. And I can only imagine what it was like. I'd really like to see a video of that somehow.
I'm like, I
Somebody
wonder
had
if
that.
a video of that exists anywhere.
It-
How
was probably in
emasculating
the
if
private
you were
selection
one
somewhere.
of those other Olympic teams just from some random country.
Holy
Have
shit.
like
And they're
Yeah.
losing by 80.
Yeah.
Like, how emasculating! It's like the whole day, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get killed.
Oh,
They
yeah,
beat,
like,
they beat teams
we
by
have
average of
0%
44
chance.
points that year. It was insane.
like, yeah, Coach, Dimitri didn't bring his
Yeah.
his hair ties, so
Sorry.
we forfeit.
The Estonian team is just not legit. Our top 5 could all get sick with the flu, and then the next starting 5 could come in and still wax the floor with them. That's insane.
But we wanted to get, I guess, our starting 5.
I was gonna
from,
say, yeah,
This
so let's-
generation.
Let's touch on this. You know, both of those rosters are ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Like I said, that's some like video game shit right there. Like I'm making my own roster, no salary caps, put the legends on, load the team up. You know what? Let's load the bench up too.
Mm-hmm.
That's some ridiculous stuff right there. I do want to do that. I want you guys. I want to hear your current.
When I think current, I think like playing right now.
Yeah, this
Yes,
generation.
yes.
Still
This
playing
gen-
to this day.
Yes, still this generation. I want to, kind of like Rashard Mendenhall's
Oh
Pro
yeah,
Bowl. I want to hear
Like-
that. Like
Okay.
yeah. I've got
current
some forwards and some guards picked out here.
So
You should
You're
go point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. And your best top tier team. Right
Okay,
there.
okay.
all right. So
I mean, I'm talking like this season right now.
This season right now.
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
If I'm can
Take the floor, sir.
No, do I have to start with a certain position, or can I just start anywhere I
Yeah,
want?
we could agree on those.
I mean, let's just start with the one.
Yeah, start with the one
That's point guard.
of all
yeah,
time.
let's see it. Let's what you got points.
right now
for
playing.
point guard right now playing
Right
today,
now.
Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers.
I
mean,
like him, dude.
He
He's
is
such
smooth.
a good athlete.
The assist, I mean, that's what you want from a guy.
Yeah.
he's
That's a different one. I
to
like
over
that.
10 or 11 assists a game, and he scores. So, and the Pacers are one of the highest scoring teams in the league. He loves to play fast. Give me Halliburton.
I like
Point,
that pick.
Out on the point,
I like that.
starting out. Let's go.
I like that pick.
All right, point. It's going to be a little bit different one as well for me. Also a Tyrese in the league, actually. Tyrese Maxey.
Maxi.
And I will say Maxey because this dude has been a superstar stud this whole year. Even when, as soon as Harden left, he took over that team as a leader, man.
Yeah.
And, like, I even saw him, like, this has nothing to do with sports, but, like, all-white party with all these celebrities and Beads there with the white suit. all of a sudden the camera goes to Maxey with him and Embiid just chilling at this all-white party, man, with all these like big-time celebs. I'm like, look at Maxey. This dude's
Was
doing
this
it
at P
big.
Diddy's house?
Say it?
Was that at P Diddy's house, the white party?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Cabrio and all those big
Do you want to hear a fun fact?
That's crazy.
Do you want to hear a fun fact?
Let's hear it.
Me personally, Brent Turner, my wife, her aunt is a big shot lawyer in New York City. Just so happened for our anniversary, hooked us out with a house in the Hamptons, and I have pictures down the street, 3 doors down.
No way.
P Diddy's fucking White House.
Get out of here!
We walked
Yo.
right past it.
What?
The driveway's white. The house
That's
is white.
crazy.
All the furniture in the house is white. It's tons of glass.
Picture that shit didn't happen, bro. I gotta see
I did not
it.
take any pictures of
That would
the
be
White
so
House,
awesome.
but I swear,
Oh
my
my
son's
God.
life, it had enough glass you could see right through into the bay where
That's
the water
badass.
was. Dude,
That's
this
so
place was
badass.
fucking baller. Now
Did
the
you see
place,
Tyrese?
no, there was no
Oh.
one there.
I was like, that would be
No, it was
crazy.
completely empty, and I
That
swear
would've
on my
been
son's
crazy.
life. But we were hit. I was P Diddy's neighbor at the White House for a week, and it was just me and my
crazy, man.
wife, and we had this whole fucking house to ourselves. And like this house was insane. Like they still have it. Her, like I said, her aunt, her girlfriend who lives with her wife, bought a butterfly garden for this house, $500,000 to import plants to this house to have
That's ridiculous.
specific butterflies show up.
Better
And
be
I kid
good.
you not, I'm not even making this
That'd
up.
be good.
And so that house was incredible. Shout out
Dude.
P Diddy. I would have loved to have been to that party. No way in chance. No way in hell I'm going.
Bad boys, like they're just chilling. Knock on the door. P Diddy outside. I was wondering if we could borrow some brown sugar.
Yeah, that would have been me.
Yep. That'd be
That would have
great.
been me. Did you? So sorry, but that was a great
No, that
time.
was
So
good.
That's awesome.
when
That's awesome.
when I hear
Right there.
that P Diddy White House, I'm like, bro, I've seen it with my own eyes.
That's awesome.
And I had to ask her, like, is that it? She was like, oh yeah. That's like, Sean's a really cool guy. She said Sean. I'm like what? She was like, oh yeah, that's his real name. His real name is like P Diddy. I'm like, of course I know that. But she said, Sean's very
Oh,
polite.
my-
Yes, sir.
Sorry, go ahead.
Tom P. Diddy. All right, we're on shooting guard.
All right,
Real
you
quick.
take.
Oh,
next,
sorry,
You
sorry,
take
yeah, we
next
got-
one on
I'll go
first.
first.
Yep, he got first on
All right,
this
here
one.
we
So
go.
we're going
Shooting
shooting guard. Let's see what you got.
Shooting guard playing right now. All right, right now. I'm going to take, even though he runs the point, he runs shooting guard as well. I'm going to take Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. The guy is an absolute monster. He could play the shooting guard, point guard role, averaging 30, 32 points a game, night in and night out.
He's brought OKC
leading
out
his
of the
team.
OKC
Yeah.
has kind of been an for the last few years. So
Him and
when I
Holmgren
see them
this
at the top
year,
of the West, it's nice.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
What do you got, Brent?
Yep, that's number 2.
I mean,
Tyrese.
all right. So I've got a couple guards. And I've got 3 forwards. I'm going with a big lineup. But how can we not just Steph Curry? Can I get Steph Curry?
He could play shooting
I
guard
believe
for
he's
sure.
on the board still.
Point
So-
guard.
I mean,
He plays either one.
Yeah, I mean, lights out. It's Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Do I need to say anything else?
Yeah.
All right, cool, done.
Yeah,
I'll
he's
go.
I
Steph
mean,
Curry, man. I'm like, that's automatic. Like
Yeah.
the only word I can think of for him is
Right.
just automatic.
I'll go with that. All right, small forward. You're up.
Run it.
Can I get Durant?
Technically, he's a small forward, power forward, I guess.
What?
He can run that position.
Because I got 3. I've got 3 big guys, 3 power
I
forwards.
guess that counts.
All right. Then if
'Cause
I get,
he-
can I
he's
get a
a
power
shooter.
forward? Then give me Jokic. If I get a power forward, if I'm just going to go 3, no
So
center.
you're going small forward.
I want Jokic at 3.
Jokic at the 3.
Yeah,
What are you, insane?
Uh,
I mean, he
kind of.
could do it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm
honestly,
saying.
could
He
do
does it all. Yeah,
I'll take that.
he's got size. He can distribute.
Yeah.
He can shoot. I mean, it's a versatile lineup. I'm not going to have a traditional center. So,
I'll take that.
I can dig it. What
All
do you
right,
got?
small forward. I mean, it's obvious. Probably the guy on my back right here, Mr. Kawhi Leonard, the custom-made Raptors jersey right here. He's, besides LeBron, I followed him his whole career. He's been one of my favorite players of all time.
He is a
Just
monster.
because he's a monster, one, and he keeps his mouth shut too. He's a winner. He has winning mentality. He doesn't do all those crazy interviews after the game or anything like that. He talks on the court. So
Yeah,
that's my guy for sure. He's still doing great things
I can dig it.
with the Clippers right now. So
I can dig it.
Well, it's hard not to pick this next guy that's coming up.
Forward.
It's hard not to pick this next guy coming up, even though we just kind of dropped 70 points. But give me, just because I just like his game, give me Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
I would love Anthony Davis.
I love him.
Little
He's
AD
such a-
action.
Such
All
a
right.
good-
All
such a
right.
good
He's a great
compliment to LeBron.
dude.
Such
He's
a
such
good
a great
compliment.
player, and if he's got the right guys around him,
Yeah.
if he's got the right, I mean, with Halliburton getting the ball, maybe Jokic getting the ball, playing a 1-2 game down there in the key, and Curry shooting threes, I got a pretty good line. I got one more.
All right. I power forward. I'm gonna go with one we haven't really talked about much. He's on that Bucks team. Been doing good all year, Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
The guy is an absolute stud. He's still doing great things, trying to lead his team. Like you said,
Okay.
they still got 30 wins this year.
All
And
right.
a lot is because of him. A lot of it.
Well, that's who I had there, obviously.
I got you.
All right,
on
no,
one.
you got me. Well, then I was gonna. I thought for sure you were gonna take it. That's why I went to
Maybe
Davis.
just take it.
Just give me Embiid.
Well,
We just talked him a drop for
Yep.
70.
Guess,
Yep.
guess who I had if Embiid got taken?
Yeah.
Mr.
Right. I
Karl
mean, so
Anthony
with
Towns,
that, I mean,
yeah.
that's a lot of lengthwise size. A lot of very versatile lineup. I feel like I got.
I have to take Anthony Towns if you're taking Embiid though. Like we talked about, they're both ridiculous under the hoop defensively. They can shoot
You
lights
say
out.
Cat?
Cat.
Okay.
They're both great at free throws, great shooting.
All right, Randy, you're looking at the
Very,
list.
very
I
good.
got Halliburton, Curry, Jokic, Embiid, and Davis.
Yeah.
And who's he got?
So he's got
Got Tyrese Maxey.
Maxey, SGA,
Gilgeous.
Kawhi, Giannis, and Townsend.
That's filthy.
We need to run this back.
That's filthy right
we need to
there.
run this
We
like
put it on NBA 2K or something.
exactly,
Oh,
and just
we gotta
set it
run
up
it.
and just watch it and see what
We
happens.
gotta run it.
Oh, that'd be so badass. That would be so badass.
All right.
Well, that being said, those are two studly lineups. I
like
mean,
I like my
agree,
team.
both of
I
them.
like my team.
I think those teams
Even
are.
though Jokic had the three.
I think I think both those teams are making
I don't know
that.
if you keep up
It's
with
going to look
Kawhi.
like an epic game. No matter what, that would be an epic game. I do want to say to all the fans out there watching, comment your top 5. Comment your NBA dream
Yeah,
top
we wanna
5.
hear that.
like
on this
starting five.
video.
I mean, you can go
Best
all guards
top
if you
five.
want to and
Yeah.
get wild with it.
Let's
Just
see the top 5.
your 5 guys you're putting on the floor against my team because you'll
All
probably
currents in the
lose.
center. or
Current players,
Wembyama.
top 5.
Wemby,
Put-
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I probably should have chosen Wemby, but
put your top 5s on there. Let's see how
Maybe
your
next year.
lineups line up against their lineups. I want to see it. I know they want to see it. Comment those lineups.
We do.
I want to see those in the days to come. I want to
We
see
wanna
those
see it.
those lineups come through. Moving on, kind of moving away from the NBA. Let's go into the big one, the elephant in the room right now. Let's talk about some NFL playoffs.
straight down.
This is a big weekend. This is a really big weekend that just happened, and a lot of storylines have kind of unfolded. And
dude.
you can call them scripts. I call them storylines.
Some would call it scripts.
There is
Damn
a
right.
lot going on that I think a lot of people predicted, and there's some things going on that just blew my mind.
Crazy.
It just wild. One thing that didn't blow my mind is we're going to start off with the Ravens-Texans game. It did not blow my mind, only because Lamar is going to be the NFL MVP.
Two-time MVP.
My fault. My bad.
get
My
it
bad.
right.
And well deserved, well
Yeah,
deserved.
absolutely.
He's done his best. all
I've
year.
said it before. Lamar is not my favorite player, but damn, the guy can ball. He can ball.
He's
You
got
have
a
to
lot of
respect-
haters, dude.
You have to respect his game,
He's
even
got
if you
through
don't.
so much.
He's
Yeah.
gotten better every year. He's got so many haters. People that you're just a running back. You should switch positions. That's what Bill Polian told him before he even got drafted. You should be a running back. You can't play quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, you saw him his first few games. Yeah, did he depend on his legs? Yeah, but each year you've seen this man get better and grow as a man, be a better leader. Second-time MVP, second-time number 1 overall seed. Yeah, he still does it with his legs, but are all of his yards from the pocket? No. But he's got poise in the pocket. His completion percentage is very high.
Yeah.
Like, he has taken his game with new offensive coordinator Tom Monken. Just taken his game to another MVP type level and he's got a good running game behind him. And
no matter how many injuries you guys have, he still has a great running.
People just try to dunk on him and tell him that he's not that good. He's still, like, if you still think Lamar Jackson is just a running back, then you're just a 100% hater. You don't know ball. You don't know ball. You can't be an objective football fan and say, this man is not putting this team on his back.
Yeah.
He told him when he got drafted, he said, I'm bringing a Super Bowl to Baltimore, and he's done everything he can to get that done. Shout out to Lamar. Big props. Fuck the haters. He doesn't care. All they do is motivate his ass. Yeah. They make him stronger.
Let that be your strength.
I will say, Lamar, one thing I really like about him, and again, not my favorite player, but I do like, he's a smart player, and he's the kind of player who will take everything that a defense gives him. He can come out and have a game where he runs for 150 yards and throws for 150 yards and still puts up 3 TDs. And then the next week he comes out and throws for 450 yards, doesn't use his feet very much, and still just crushes it through the air. But he does he takes what the defense.
And at the end of the game, what do we got? We usually got a W.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And that's, to me, that's just doing what you need to do, what you're supposed to do. And Lamar, I will say, CJ Stroud, y'all made him look a little uncomfortable back there. He had some moments, but never got the wheels running.
First half was, it was a close on the scoreboard, but if you think about it, what Lamar has this year is a stifling defense.
Yeah.
Aggressive, edgy, pissed off defense playing behind him. And if it weren't for a shanked bad punt and a special teams touchdown, they didn't give it up. The punt team gave it up.
Right.
That would have been a first half shutout, and then they shut him out again in the second half. I mean, just a dominating performance, and it kind of maybe gives C.J. Stroud something to think about when he goes into the offseason. It's like, okay, I play some teams in the AFC South. I play some teams, but if I'm going to beat the team, this is what I've got to work on. So maybe that motivates him going into the offseason. But adios, Texans. Let's go on to the Chiefs.
I just think you guys have made a lot of teams very uncomfortable. I mean, you see the teams left in the playoffs, the Lions and the Niners, both of those games you guys had against them, you made the quarterback very uncomfortable. Yeah. I mean, obviously the Purdy game, nobody's seen him played like that in 2 years. 4 picks in 3 quarters, and they put Darnold in, he throws a touchdown, they don't even put Purdy back in. They didn't even want him back in that game. Lions game as well, you guys just came out firing on all cylinders all game, and dominated that team. You see how good that team is. So it's just very scary to see how good you guys actually are. Yeah, man. And this is your biggest test right here, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
This guy last week, I mean, I'll give it to you. I shouldn't have changed my Chiefs pick. I solely thought that Buffalo had the better team, and I still feel like they had the better team. They didn't play the best game at the end of the game, especially.
Yeah.
And that was the reason they lost.
Baltimore's got 11 wins against winning teams this year.
Yeah.
6 of those wins were against teams that were 3 games or better above 500. That means you're like 6-3, 9-6. Like you're a good team.
You're a quality team. Yeah.
They were 6-0 in those games and have covered the spread 6-0 times. They are 6-0 against the spread, 6-0 straight up. When the good teams, when they face a challenge, they win, and that is a leadership thing. Yeah. That is a coaching thing. That is a culture thing. Yep. That is things that don't show up on draft night. And if Kansas City wants to come into Baltimore and win, they are going to have to play a good game. They're going to have a well-coached game. And they're going to have to be more physical because the Ravens have the most physical defense in the NFL, and they have a punishing running game and an MVP quarterback.
Yep.
And you're playing on the road. It's not a good recipe if you're a Kansas City fan. Not saying I will never, ever, ever. And you brought it up when we were talking about playoffs. And you said, I will never. You said, my sleeper is the Kansas City Chiefs because nobody's talking about them.
Yes.
And you were right because they're kind of, They lose again. They have these tough games against the Raiders. Their wide receivers are fucking dog shit. Kadarius Toney's giving the other team touchdowns. Like they just look disjointed. I see a galvanized Kansas City team coming into Baltimore. So I do not take them lightly by any means.
Yeah, you can't.
They are playing loose. You got Kelsey up in the box, cheering them on with T. Swifty. Kelsey's pulling his shirt off. Travis is scoring touchdowns.
That was awesome.
Pacheco's running hard as shit. Like, they've got a good defense So we will not overlook them by any means. If anybody in Ravens fans, Ravens organization is, you are mistaken. This is a good team, and they still got 15 playing quarterback. So if we bring our A game, they can't match up. If we turn the ball over, we play tight, we let them hang around, and it comes down to a fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Somebody's career is made in that. Somebody's career is made in that fourth quarter, because Patrick Mahomes can say, "Hey, you took a ragtag bunch of guys and you took them to the Super Bowl."
Yeah.
Or if it's Lamar and he goes out and wins, it's like, all right, you're not just a running back anymore. You're not just this guy nobody thought could do anything. You brought a Super Bowl to Baltimore. You're playing in the Super Bowl with a damn good chance to win it, because the two teams on the other side, you both beat the shit out of.
Yeah.
So this is his Super Bowl right now for all intents and purposes. Like, I know the game is the game, and if we are lucky to make it there, he'll change his mentality. But boy, he is. You saw his face at halftime. He was just locked in.
Yeah, he was
and
ready.
you don't see this out of this guy. He's fucking locked in.
And I'm really hoping you guys wax the floor with Kansas City. One of the big reasons, and it's something that it's a bit off subject, but it still irritates shit out of me. I hate to imagine the hard-on Chris Collinsworth is going to have if Patrick Mahomes goes to another Super Bowl. I really Now here's a guy. Here's a guy that does nothing wrong ever. He's always on point. He never makes a mistake. Every call should go his way. I'm like, dude, I get so tired of hearing it.
I will single-handedly admit, like, we need Lamar and company and the defense to save us from a Taylor Swift Super Bowl. Please.
Yes.
We're going to see her 100 times. I got nothing against her. I really don't. Like, do your thing.
I just think the biggest way, really the only way I've seen Mahomes even lose in general is making him uncomfortable in the pocket. And it's very hard to do because of his scramble ability. Not the fastest guy in the world, but he makes his decisions very quick. So the best thing you guys can do is the same thing you did to Brock Purdy. Keep blitzing, keep making this guy uncomfortable, keep sending edge rushers that he's not ready for, stuff like that. That's the best game plan that I would put in their eyes, just because if you keep that guy off the field, you run it with Lamar, get the time of possession, get Kansas City's defense tired. That's the formula
and
to win.
The running game will help do that. You just keep the clock.
That's how you
lean
that
on
team.
them. Just like you think leaning on somebody with a good defense and running game isn't the hardball recipe. You just saw it up in Michigan.
Yeah.
That is the recipe. Good running game, good defense, dynamic enough quarterback to make plays and be efficient with the ball, make you get and go win you games.
Yep.
Don't forget who they have at the home. I mean, I've always been a very big fan myself. Andy Reid, the guy is a Hall of Fame coach. He is behind everything in this team. He is leading this team, and you guys have a great coach as well, another Hall of Fame coach in Harbaugh. But he has a lot of that winning mentality, a lot of that just winning atmosphere, especially in KC now. Even in Philadelphia, he never got his championship, but he was always there at the end. Mm-hmm. He was always in that NFC championship. We always made it almost there, and then he finally got it with KC. So he's hungry as well. He's going to keep wanting, those wins as well. So it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
By any means.
I just don't know. Like, if we double, we got Kyle Hamilton playing safety. Yeah. He's going to lock down. He's going to try to lock down Travis Kelce. Easier said than done. But you double him. Who's left? Who are you afraid of as far as Kansas City wide receivers?
Rasheed Rice. That's it. That's
one
where your
guy.
eyes are.
I'll say Valdez-Scantling stepped up big in that last.
He did.
2 big 30-yard catches down the stretch and 2 big plays, 2 big downs. He's a guy that played with Rodgers in Green Bay in his early years when he first got drafted. He's played with those good quarterbacks, so all he has to do is have one hot game like that. His confidence goes through the roof.
Still makes me nervous, bro. I know I've been talking about it. Like, they ain't got a shot. I say
can't count them out. Can't count them out.
I will say, before we move on there, I did just want to throw this out there. I thought it was all clever and stuff, so I really wanted to. But to you as a Ravens fan, I guess, after this last game, speaking on the Texans, I guess you'll need to wear that Edgar Allan Poe jersey. Quote the Raven.
Nevermore. Let's go. I'm so pumped for the games. I'm so pumped for the rest of the weekend. I think the other matchup with San Francisco and Detroit, it's going to be an excellent game. Goff's coming back to Cali. Detroit is, in the NFC Championship game for the first time since forever.
Yeah.
So they, And
I think deep down, unless you're a Niners fan, I think every other fan of an NFC team deep down is like proud of Detroit for being what they are this year, and really kind of hoping that they pull this thing out. I know I am.
You say your defense. I'll hit on this real quick in the Niners. You say your Baltimore defense is one of the best, but honestly, like the Niners, after they explained how many All-Pros and just guys they have on the defensive end, and I watched that entire Green Bay game, and for Green Bay to fight with them every down, every snap, the Niners were hitting them, not just tackling, they were hitting them viciously every time, and they were clean. Don't get me wrong, most of the hits very clean, but they were playing vicious, like grinded out football. They wanted that so bad, and for Green Bay to take every hit, everything that happened, and still play throughout that whole game, I give uttermost respect to LaFleur and all those guys there. In my opinion, I honestly called Green Bay last week by 3. I honestly thought that was going to happen. I still feel like they had the better team. Like, Niners did not deserve to win that game, no matter how many All-Pros they have, no matter how many guys they have on the offensive and defensive end that are doing really well. Green Bay dropped that game, and they had so many opportunities to take advantage. So I just wanted to hit on that.
San Francisco was built around their defensive line. They were a no-show.
They were
no sacks. Once again, just like the Cowboys, no sacks against Love.
They
were not getting to him.
It's that time of year when teams want to take it to you. They say, all right, we're going to run the ball.
I think Detroit will do that exact same thing.
And that's the point I was going to make. They're done. Yep. It's like a Dan Campbell coach team is physical. They want to, and they've got a great offensive line, probably on par, maybe a little bit better than the Packers. And
top 3, I think.
And not
top
one
3.
Dynamic back. They got 2 dynamic backs.
Yes.
To come in, so they
stay healthy,
and they've got a better, and I think probably a better wide receiver core than the Packers do.
Yep.
Packers are young, but you got St. Brown, you got Laporta.
Just signed Zach Ertz.
I saw that Ertz
as a backup.
You're telling me Ertz can't come in, just be a guy and come make a catch or two. He's not going to break the game open for you. He's not that guy, but
they got talent. Josh Reynolds, Jameson Williams.
They are talented, and it stinks that this game's not in Detroit because that would be a great game. Jared Goff has got this stigma about him that he kind of turns into a pumpkin when he goes outside. They say he can't play outside. He's good at home. He's good at domes. We'll see. But there are lots of good storylines there. I think if San Francisco comes out with another average performance like they did against Green Bay, and they let Detroit be physical with them, maybe San Francisco might like to think that that's their calling card. That Detroit can come in there and be physical, be aggressive on defense, blitz. Purdy does not. The Ravens did it to him. You saw Green Bay do it to him last week. They get in his space.
Play a great game.
No, he didn't. He was completion percentage was not great.
Lucky pick 6 at the beginning.
He got rattled. He's still a young quarterback. Not saying he can't. Saying he can't be a great quarterback. They got in his face. They get him to move around. And when you're on the run, you make decisions, just like Jordan Love did at the end of that game.
One terrible decision the whole game.
Yeah, so you make a bad decision. You get a young quarterback out there in the flat, and you've got Dre Greenlaw chasing you. You might want to, your decision making might be a little rushed. So I'm just saying, can they be efficient with the ball? Can they make the plays? Detroit should be the underdog. I still think San Francisco is a very good team, but all the elements are there for Detroit to maybe win this game outright.
Yeah.
Possibly no Debo. Big
yeah,
news.
They're a different team without Debo.
Golly,
you saw
he's all the motion guy.
You saw
he's
fall
the
after
running,
the first quarter when he comes back.
That's how
even if he's they were going to win for sure.
Even if he's off the field for a drive and comes back later, you can still see a night and day difference between that drive and every other drive in the game.
No, you're 100%.
They are a different team completely without him on the field.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see that, and I think America is rooting for a Ravens Lions Super Bowl.
Just so the script isn't there. We saw a news report. Like I mentioned to you guys before the podcast, there was a news report that came out. One of my buddies showed it to me the other day. February 11th, it said all the people performing at halftime show, and it also said at the bottom, February 11th, Ravens versus 49ers Super Bowl, performing at halftime. So you guys already know who's playing in the bowl before these games even happen, and the logo script thing. I know that's kind of far fetched, but the colors of the Super Bowl is purple and red, and if it so happens to be that again for I think the third straight year, that will have some questions too. So,
well, can I get the script at the beginning of the year so I can bet on it?
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
like, just tell me who's gonna win at the beginning of the year, and I'll keep it hush. I won't say a single word.
You know,
I'll let you put a few bucks on.
It's been
whoever's
crazy.
script is, let me get a peek at the script.
Crazy.
Don't lie, you're gonna Biff Tannen the shit out of that.
I will biff the entire league. Don't let me get a hold of that buck. I will biff the whole league every week, every game. Hey, he's on a 100-0 streak. What can I say?
What do you know?
80 yards to go, one play, 2 seconds left. This game is over, Brett.
We
Looks
still
over.
got it.
How much you want to bet he nails an 80-yard Hail Mary?
I know who's winning this game.
Live bet it. That's right, live bet it.
Well,
let's go.
Those are some good games. I do want to bring it up. You know, it's maybe the toughest loss to watch of the entire weekend. Way to catch. That was a good catch.
I was gonna say,
those are the kind of catches your guys are going to need. And then you wiped it on your jersey.
Bryant.
It's all right. One thing we don't have down here is a paper towel. So, but
I wish I had you.
I've got a towel somewhere.
Come out. I'll go get one.
Yeah. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Dude, I'm a mess. I'm dipping my beer again.
At least it's not on the sound card. So we're all right.
Why this man should not drink a beer?
Sorry.
I'll tell you on a side note, you know what has surprised me more than anything is this damn brisket dip, bro. This brisket dip is the truth. I'm like,
This one.
slamming brisket dip over here. I'm like, and I keep having to turn my mic off so I'm not like chomping in the damn mic, but
I'm sorry.
Hey man, it happens. Now you got trouble.
Might as well. Sorry. You can edit that out.
We're all good.
All right, sorry.
it happens. Like I said, man,
Dude.
we're just guys, man. Sports bites. This is
Dude.
what it happens.
All right. Let's go.
Let's
Sorry.
go. Well,
back.
let's talk about what very well may have been the most heartbreaking loss to watch over the weekend. Chiefs and Bills. I know from being married to a Buffalo woman, I had really high expectations for the Bills. Not necessarily expectations. I had high hopes. The Bills, personally, and this is an opinionated thing, but personally, I think the Bills got a lot of penalties against them that the Chiefs kind of got over. They overlooked a little bit on the Chiefs side. It is what it is, whether it was or wasn't. I am not going to put the blame on that on the refs, though. I'm not that kind of guy to begin with. I don't like that unless it's something super blatant. What I am going to say is the Bills did everything they could to give that game away. Everything that they possibly could to give that game away. I want to start off. Let's talk about this fake punt.
It's poor coaching. Poor coaching.
That was
And
just
I was just shocked
decision.
because exactly, and that's not the kind of decision that they're known for making. They're usually relatively good about their play calling.
I'm pretty sure it was because that they saw 9 at the line.
Well, that's exactly
and they
what
looked
it
over
was.
and they were like, okay, we're about to take advantage of this right now.
But what I was saying earlier is, okay, so say they have 10 on the field for their return. Okay, you come out there and you're immediately like, okay, they're down a guy. They got 9 on the line. Let's go ahead and audible out. Now, looking at a fake punt formation, they switch that off. They check off to that real quick and snap the ball. Okay, so you're looking at it in a sense of numbers. Okay, we're 11 against 10. We've got the numbers against them, 11 against 10. Okay. Your punter's out of the equation because
Unless he's getting the ball.
Exactly. He's way back there. He's not part of the play. Okay, now you're down to 10 guys. You're running 10 guys on this play. You want to argue, okay, hey, their returner, you can't put him in there because the returner is too far out of the play to make a play unless it goes way downfield. Okay, take him out. Okay, nine guys on 10 guys. Let's remember, that formation is not everyone up on the line. It's not a normal formation. You've got guys offset behind the line, too. They're running behind. At that point, they're irrelevant as well.
Yep.
The whole line on defense is going to collapse to the ball. The moment they see that punter doesn't have the ball, they are collapsing on the ball. So now you're running numbers at the very best. You're running numbers 10 against 9 with 1 or 2 guys behind you, basically out of the play, and the entire line of 9 collapsing right on the ball. That play makes no sense to me.
You know what that play reeks of?
What's that?
It reeks of panic.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
They had no room to panic right there. They had
they
the lead,
I
pretty
think
sure,
given
right?
the field position, they should have just punted the ball, and they thought, hey, like, we know who's on the other sideline. That psyche.
Yeah.
That mentality, they got psyched out.
Pin them deep, and guess what happens the first play after that punt? Chiefs get a big run about to score, and they tackle Pacheco. Ball goes out of the end zone, touchback. Just imagine if that was the first play from scrimmage on the other side of the field. First play, he gets a 29-yard run. Okay, fumbles, still on their side of the field. Then they get the ball. That's a whole new game right there. That's just
it just smelled of panic, and it was a weak moment for the guy. I think their record against the Chiefs were in their head, in the coach's head with that pick.
Playoff record that matters. They're good against them in the regular season.
And I agree with the panic to a certain extent, but what I saw was over-aggression. You got to play a smart game against the Chiefs. I don't care who you are. The Ravens, you're still going to have to play a smart game. Do I think you guys outclassed them as far as your power on the field versus theirs? Yeah, I think so player-wise. You still have to play a smart game against a team like the Chiefs.
It's the intangibles.
Exactly. And the moment the Chiefs, you allow them, like you said earlier, you allow them to stay in a game, and that's where they hurt you. You let them get into that late third quarter, fourth quarter, and they're still really close or ahead. That's how they hurt you in those games. Yep. The Bills, it was too early. You're near your own 30. It makes no sense. The risk-reward ratio is just not there for you.
Right.
It's that spot in the field. Yeah.
It reeks to me of over-aggression. They saw what they thought was the chance to take advantage of a blunder, and it let their heads blow up thinking that the blunder that they made was huge, when in reality it was probably something really small that was going to be irrelevant in helping them. And I agree with Donnie. Even if you see that, okay, they've got 10, we've got it. Let the man punt the ball. You're up a guy on coverage. You're going to get a better chance of tackling him if he does take off with it.
Yeah.
You're going to set yourself up better. Show your team that you have faith in what they do on the regular, and don't try to attack a play with something wilding out there that you haven't proven at all this season that worked. Right. Don't do, like in a playoff game against such a high caliber team, you're giving the game away in those situations. And that blew my mind. I was just like, man, the luck of Buffalo was all over them when Pacheco fumbled that out of the end zone. I didn't think they were going to overturn that, to be honest. It was such a bang-bang play. It was so close.
I hate that rule. Hardman was running hard, and, the defense is getting rewarded for, not a whole lot. I know in that case they caused a fumble, but sometimes when the guy's just reaching out and he basically throws it out.
Was it
Hardman that fumbled?
Yeah, it was Hardman, yeah. And it's like, why are they letting him carry by the way? But whatever. It's like, I don't like that rule to begin with, so... But,
but the luck was in their favor.
Till the very end. It's still a rule.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, even if they punt it right there, I feel like the playing field is still level at that point.
Yeah, of course.
The game's so early. It's so close still. You're
like
not down anything.
It's like a game of chess. You got to keep playing to the end.
And
man.
that is
mental.
exactly
It's all mental.
That is exactly what I thought when I was watching that. That's so funny you said that, because in my mind I'm watching and I'm like, that was a checkers move.
Yeah.
That was checkers, and Kansas City's over here playing chess, and you're playing checkers over here. You're going to try to do something quick and flashy,
smart.
and I'm like,
making mistakes.
Yeah.
So they're saying, you guys make the mistakes. We're going to play a mistake-free game.
Yes.
We're going to call simple plays that work, our run plays that work, our zone reads, everything, and you guys make the mistakes. And if you beat us, good job.
Yep.
But guess what? We're not making mistakes today, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep. It'll be an honest, good game, and that's so. And then we got, the game goes back and forth. It was a good game.
It was a great game.
It was really
awesome
good
game to watch.
up to the end. I
really wanted to see
being
Buffalo,
married
I just wanted to see
Bills
them
fan,
go and not see Mahomes again.
It was
Allen deserves to have at least a shot to play you guys. Not saying he's going to win.
I mean, I was
At least
rooting
a
for them.
shot
They're
to
certainly
win
my
you
sentimental
guys.
favorite. I definitely
Play you
wanted them
guys.
to do that and make it to the AFC. But
I agree with that. But Allen has done his fair share of giving things away too. Like
I'll talk about.
He had no turnovers though, and when he didn't turn the ball over, he's very good.
Yes.
One thing though, at the very end of the game, he had a clean pocket to step up in. He had Jones coming around the outside, one edge rusher, and his O-line was sticking with him the whole time. He went back and back and back in the pocket until the edge rusher came right. You could step up a foot to the right, a foot up in the pocket, and nail Shakir. And he was wide open, sir. All he had to do was lob it up, and he's behind the safety. Touchdown. That's a game changer. If not, the touchdown before that was a game changer, but that one would have definitely defined the game. He missed. It wasn't a turnover, but guess what? It was a game-defining play.
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about it, even though it wasn't a mistake in the books. But if you watch the game, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because
mental mistake.
He had all he has to do is step up in the pocket. Not even a lot of pressure. One edge rusher coming. That was it. Step up right or center, boom, make that throw. The game's completely changed.
Well,
So
then we get to the end of this thing.
it's hard to
The
blame
Bills,
one person.
they fought to stay in it all the way. I get rough conditions during the game, not the worst in the world by any means, but they weren't ideal conditions. You bring on Tyler Bass, not an automatic, but not much more than a chip shot in my book. It wasn't crazy far away. It wasn't a 60-yarder or a 55-yarder. It was a very makeable field goal in my eyes. And then he comes up. My thing was the snap looked good. The
There's no
hold looked
wind.
good.
Oh,
See,
there
I
was some
saw.
wind.
Yeah, there was wind pushing right, but that was the thing. When he kicked it, when he came off his foot, that thing basically was straight at the right upright. The moment it came off his foot and veered to the right,
There's just
he
script
had-
writers. There's some script writers with
right.
the wind machines in the stands.
right? But he had no English on that thing left to try to pull it over to where it needed to be or anything like that. And then once again, the curse of Buffalo hits, and we go wide right. I mean, I felt really bad for Buffalo. I felt bad for Rachel, man. Like,
Why?
I just...
How do you think I feel
It's hard.
if Tuck missed the kick? If Tuck missed the kick, that to send the Ravens to the Super Bowl or advance them in the playoffs, and he missed it, I would be beside myself.
I take this.
But the thing is, the
No, you're good,
difference is the Ravens have not had so many games defined by wide right.
Yeah.
That is
true.
That
It's
is a
the
phrase.
the voodoo.
If
They
I
have a
went
guy
if,
that can make the kick.
if I went to my in-laws' house right now and walked in the door and we were talking and having a good time, if I said wide right, I believe my father-in-law would kick my ass out of the house right then and there without any question. Like, Randy,
you're not
you
going
gotta
to go in wearing a
you're
Scott
gonna-
Norwood jersey to the house.
Oh, golly. We're not going there.
Oh, okay.
We're not going
All right.
there. We're not going there. But I mean, yeah, I felt bad for Rachel. She when they lined up, she like covered her face. She was like, I can't watch. And I think it was the announcer when the moment the ball came off his foot, the announcer on TV was like, "Oh no!" And Rachel like looked up and saw it, and you knew at the moment it came off his foot was like, "That's wide right. That's not even gonna."
I want to go off something. Just put this in your minds real quick. The kicker most likely is the least paid player on the team, except for maybe Justin Tucker, who is probably the best kicker in the league right now. Now,
Right now.
when you play a game, you have a complete game script and everything works out good the whole game, and you have a lot of success on offense and you're in the game to the very end. I personally do not like putting the game in the hands of a kicker. I don't care how good they are. Even our kicker, I would be super nervous. I'd rather them go down the field, have good clock management, throw balls away, get your first downs, and then score a touchdown to win. Have the guys that are getting paid $100, $200 million to score. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't want to put the game in the hands of a guy getting paid
It's
$2.5
situational,
million.
of course. It's situational.
But that is a
But,
good point. Like,
you
need to be better at managing every aspect
I
of
would
it on
rather
that
a
drive.
game go to that.
I mean, we get it. It's
Tucker's
hard
a
for
whole
a
new
Ravens
thing.
fan to understand
Yeah,
that. You got Tuck that's
Tucker's a whole
banging
new
57
thing.
yarders in the
Of
sleep.
course,
That's
I would
true.
trust him without a doubt. You get to the 40, boom, you're in his range. Everybody else, you saw Anders Carlson, a guy that's a rookie. They could have got rid of him throughout the year. He was the one really downfall of that team, and they kept him in the playoffs, which is a very just harsh atmosphere in general. And you trust him to make that kick at the end. Remember, they gave away Mason Crosby, who got signed to a team, and guess what? All of his kicks that he made when he got signed were good. Just saying. The guy still had some juice left, and he didn't have to give a guy like that away. He played with Favre and Rodgers in all those playoff games. He would have been nice to have right there. So just stuff like that. it matters in a game. And, having that kicker at the end, it's all well and good. But besides, Mr. Tucker, I don't trust anybody else. I want one to put the game. I want to put the game in his hands.
I know.
Exactly.
And he'll be around for another 10
Other
years,
teams are looking at that, though. They want to score touchdowns. They don't want to put the game in the hands of the kicker. That was just how they lost, in my opinion. They shouldn't have done that.
Heartbreaking for Bills fans everywhere. I know that stigma of wide right and just being, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I hate to say it because so much, like I said, my wife, my in-laws, everybody from Buffalo, they're such a great group of fans, the Bills fans. The Mafia is some of the best people I've ever known. They're wild. I will say this. People talk smack about Eagles fans. I'll tell you right now, Mafia is wild. They are some wild folks.
Feed the pit. Feed the pit.
Jumping off 20-foot hills on the table.
Yeah, dude, like on fire. Table's on fire now. Like,
and then they do like a ketchup mustard bukkake on people.
Dude.
I haven't seen that one. Dude. Mustard bukkake.
Yeah, they just hose them down.
Everyone, come in.
That's pretty much what it is.
It's up for everyone, baby. Let's go.
Wait, what's bukkake? I like Sudoku.
We'll talk after the pod. Off the pod.
Different pod. Okay.
Are we almost done with NFL? Because I have one question.
We're getting close.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, so it's actually kind of a little bit of a debate topic, Don, and I have a question for you.
Let's do it right now.
And whatever you pick, you got two quarterbacks. Whatever you pick, I'll take the opposite one.
All right.
All right, we looked at the playoffs. We got the playoffs this past year. I was actually thinking about this earlier today. You're going to start a franchise. You're the GM. And you get your pick. Who are you going to start a franchise with? C.J. Stroud or Jordan Love?
I have to go with... They're both fantastic. I'll give it to him. C.J. looked like a veteran half the year, especially with all the injuries he had. He played with whoever he had, and he made him good. He was well good around him. I liked Love just a little bit better because he got to he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 2 years. He did not play a single game unless they were up 40. And he got his little time in that at the end. He sat behind it for 2 years. He was patient. He learned every bit of skills he got from him. And you saw that in the game. The throws off the back foot, the precision, not making mistakes, the run-pass option, just everything. He was fooling a defense. He wasn't letting the defense get to him. Both games, even at the end, against the Cowboys and the Niners, two of the best defensive edge-rushing teams, 0 sacks. 0 sacks. That O-line did him well, and I think as far as future goes, he has a great team. All those young receivers. He's got Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, that O-line, just everything.
I'm going to disagree. I would have disagreed regardless because...
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make it really hard for you to disagree because I'm disagreeing with him right off the bat. I do agree with what you're saying about Jordan Love sitting behind him.
Great.
But I'm going to tell you now, C.J. Stroud, I feel like C.J. Stroud did almost as much. Actually, I guess he did pretty much as much with less. Their running game was not. Now, don't get me wrong, Aaron Jones, I know injuries and stuff, but he did. Would they have Devin Singletary running the ball in Houston?
Yeah.
Devin Singletary's not an explosive back. He's not.
He did well for them, but yeah, he's not.
But he did his job enough. But I'm going to tell you now. To me, C.J. Stroud took some receivers that at the time were not humongous playmakers.
Not household names.
Exactly.
I didn't know who Nico Collins was.
Me either. Tank Dell,
all those guys.
And he turned those guys into superstars.
And that's why I pick him. And it's funny that you bring up how he sat behind Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did the same thing with Brett Favre.
Exactly.
So you think Brett, he picked up a little bit from Brett, and then he picked up a little bit from Aaron. And the difference to why I would pick C.J. Stroud is because when I see him in the pocket, he's still a rookie. I mean, first year. He was playing in college last year.
Jordan poised.
He did look poised, and that's what I was going to get at. Brett Favre had a little bit of gunslinger about him.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're down. Let me wing a ball in here into double coverage. It could be great, or I could just... Right, yeah, just like... just spraying it. And, he made some incredible plays, and Favre made some terrible plays. NFC Championship game years ago when he was with the Vikings against the Saints, and they just needed a field goal, and he throws a terrible pick.
I remember. He should have been to the bowl that year.
Maybe Jordan Love's got a little bit about him.
Yeah.
This
is
in him.
his first year. He's technically a rookie. They were both rookies this year.
Technically, you're right.
Yeah.
And so when
First year playing.
when I see Stroud, I know Baltimore defense can make anybody look
Yeah. Golly. Yeah.
and make them look
And they
bad.
did. That's what it was.
But he had a good year against everybody else, especially the people in his division. All it takes is a crappy division. Look at no further than the career of Tom Brady. Not saying Tom Brady's bad, but when he was winning all those AFC championships, everybody else in the division was dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you look at the AFC South, I'm not super scared of anybody. So the division is there for him to grab a hold of and then have a playoff berth, maybe a home game every year, and then if they've got it seems like they've got a good GM, they've got good coaching, they've got good players, they're going to have another good draft this year.
Yep.
I mean, I think there's a lot of optimism when it comes to them. Same thing with the Packers, but if I'm the GM and I'm picking, give me Stroud and his consistency and his boys. I would love to start a franchise around that guy.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him too. Cleveland was a #1 team defensive efficiency, and he scored 45 points on them. So he was no fluke. He did what he had to do, and he looked fantastic doing it. That was a good little debate.
I liked it. Let's jump forward real quick. I mean, obviously NFL playoffs. We go through the games. We got to put some predictions out here. We've got 2 big conference championship games coming up. I want to hear the debate on this. Although I have a feeling you guys are going to be pretty close as far as your predictions. Let's start with the AFC. I'm going to assume that Brent has Kansas City winning by 17.
Never. I would never pick that. I think, like I mentioned earlier, the coaching and the quarterback and those intangible type things are something to think about. But the game is played with the 11 men on the field.
Yep.
And I think the guys that play on the defense, the guys that play on the offense, especially the quarterback, we've proven consistently against winning teams, we play our best. And I think Kansas City is no different. I think it will be a close game at first. I think Baltimore will pull away. Give me Baltimore 31-20 going to the Super Bowl.
I like it. What do you got, Don?
I will agree with you. I'll say it's going to be closer than most people think. I still think Mahomes is going to come out and bring everything to the table he has. Reed's going to come out and bring every play out there that he's had in his back pocket. They're going to make it hard for them for sure. And I think on both sides of the spectrum here, if KC has those drives where they can keep Lamar off the field, keep him cold, keep that defense on the field, they can get them tired. Just like I told him last week or the week before, it doesn't matter what defense you're facing. You saw that with Love against the Niners. You can exploit them. And if you make them uncomfortable and you keep them on the field for a long time, that can definitely happen. I'll say Baltimore pulls out a close one, 29-24.
29-24.
I'll give the edge to Lamar because I truly see him very hungry. I called it last week. He was just hungry.
A stat I forgot to mention. Kansas City has given up 5 yards a carry this year on average.
That's all you got to do.
We ran the ball 43 times against the Texans, and it got well over 200 yards.
Got him. That's all you got to do.
You keep them off the field.
Yep.
You play a punishing running game, and when they do have the ball, you kick their fucking ass.
Yeah.
That's how we win the game.
Just come out from A to Z.
Physical.
Do it from play one
and
to
we punish
the last
them.
play of the game.
31-20, and I'm saying that's,
what? Real
that's
quick,
kind of the gift.
I like it.
I think they scored a garbage time touchdown.
What if we hit on a couple of times? You were saying that about Kansas City. I said it now too. In these games with Kansas City, the thing you have to worry about is those games where you allow them to stay in it late.
That cannot happen.
I think the same.
That cannot happen.
But hold on. I think the same goes for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Kansas City is still in this thing after being written off at the end of the season by so many people. Mm-hmm. Kansas City is still in it, and in my book, Kansas City is in a position that they want to be in. They're the dogs going into this. That's where they want to be right now. They want to be that team to come out there and be like, underestimate us and watch what happens. I'm going to tell you right now, I've got Kansas City 24-20 against the Ravens.
I hate that pick.
You know what he's been the champ at the last few months? When our Braves were in demise against Philly, he was putting all his money on the Phillies. When we were in demise against Tampa Bay, he knew to put all his money on Tampa Bay. The guy's got a keen sense of what's going on.
Bro.
Don't doubt his picks because I've doubted him the last few months.
to.
And guess what? Every single one has happened.
Well, we'll see.
So, you know what?
We will see.
Not every one of them, I will say.
I think you're
some
right.
of them have been.
Most of them have
and
been
part
good.
of it,
Either way could happen.
don't
Either
get me
way.
wrong. I want you to understand.
It's not
as,
impossible.
No, it's not.
as a friend
not.
and fellow
It goes
podcaster, I want you to know, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're fucking wrong.
I hope
he's
you
doing
guys
it for a
beat
reason.
the
He's doing
ever-living
this for a
hell
reason.
out of them on the field. I hope Patrick Mahomes is crying at the end of the game. I hope Taylor Swift comes
we
out
have
there.
to save the world from Taylor Swift.
I hope
Everybody root for us, please.
Dude, she's
I hope
making
Travis
that
Kelce.
Swiftie Juju, man.
I hope they lose
giving
the game.
Kelce all
Travis
that power.
Kelce. It
All
shows.
right.
Hold on. It shows Travis Kelce go up into the box to meet her, looking for some sort of comfort. He gets down on one knee. He
Let me
pulls
get
the
some
ring
more.
out everybody's been talking about. He holds the ring out to her, and she just shakes her head and walks out the door. That's what I want to see happen.
Good.
So that's what I want to see. But that is my pick, and I stick with it.
Get you a little bit more there.
All right.
I'm like, I got to step away. I'm like, dude, I'll eat every
These are
bit of
just
that
too
damn
good,
dip.
man. Nice little snack to go on.
Craveable.
Throughout.
I'll give it to you.
Craveable.
Craveable.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
That hit. With
Most
the little
definitely.
cheese
I'm
on
still
it.
nervous. I still think we'll kick the shot, but I'm nervous. But the other game,
Yep.
I think it's going to be much tighter. I think Detroit has got that edge.
Yeah.
Behind them right now. San
Very
Francisco looked a
healthy.
little beatable. They looked human last
Mhm.
week. If I think it all really hinges, like you said, on Debo playing. If Debo does not play, that offense is completely different. Not saying the Detroit defense is anything to write home about, but it really hinges on that. But I think if he is a gritty enough dude, if he can play, he will play. So with that being said, I want to make it a close game. Give me 27-24 Niners.
27-24 Niners. I like it. Don?
Even though that's probably what's going to happen and what's scripted, I'll say the Lions have impressed me because they've stayed healthy all year. They got that crazy good O-line that's been productive for them all year. They've got Gibbs and Montgomery sharing reps. So you got to think one guy's not taking the workhorse every single game.
Yeah.
He's not tired. Montgomery has a lot of juice. Gibbs is only getting 12, 13 touches a game and making at least 100 yards. It seems like almost every game. He's scoring almost every game. So he's a very valuable asset. Like you said, they have all those receivers on the outside. Goff has just been playing really well, poised in the pocket, getting the ball off quick decisions. He's a great athlete, and they got that defense with Hutchinson. He's just been so well. And I'll pick the Lions in a close edge match, 31-27, only because even with Debo saying, I saw some holes in the Niners and how the Lions can exploit them, especially having that edge rush against Purdy and making him make quick decisions. I think that's how they're going to make the difference in that game.
Well, I've got the wild one on this one. And again, it's one, my picks I feel like I don't want to happen, but they've got to be there. One thing San Francisco has done really good this year, fixing problems. Fixing issues. When they have a problem in a game, they almost never have it in the next game.
Yeah, I'll give them
They
that.
spend that time that they have in between games repairing things and fixing issues that they had. They sharpen up. They get crispy. They dip them in the deep fryer and get a little crispy. So
Got a lot of luck last week, so they better get real crispy.
this is what I'm looking at. Detroit, high-powered, super high-powered offense. They have the ability, and even against the Niners, they have the ability to break it open. When they get ahead of you to a certain point, they make it so hard to get back in it because you score on a drive, they score on a drive. You kick a field goal, they score on a drive. They hold you one drive, they score a field goal, and boom, all of a sudden, you're now getting down out of hand. I think San Francisco took a dip in the deep fryer this week and got real crispy. I've got San Francisco beating Detroit. I'm looking San Francisco 31-24.
Full touchdown.
I like it.
Woo!
I like it.
It'll be a great weekend of games, fellas. I'm looking forward to watching it.
I
And
think
we
so.
will have our Super Bowl matchup. It's a shame because football is like it's almost officially over, bros.
Right.
Makes me a little sad.
Yeah.
I mean, not totally sad, not like an Eagles fan, but
I'm a fucking Eagles and Florida State fan. I'm done with football. Be done with it, bro.
Right.
Who gives it?
So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the games, guys. It'll be fun.
So we're gonna switch gears here at the end.
You're going to give me 1 second.
Yep.
Facility time.
What'd he say?
He's got to make a wee wee.
The facility time?
Facility time. He's got to make a wee wee.
What is this? Is this amateur hour or something?
Kid time. Play time. It's all right, dude.
Story time. But no, I mean, I think that this week was really some really good games. What heartbreaking or not for some teams, I think it was really interesting to see how things played out. I think this next week is going to be wild because I feel like these games are either going to be really close, like everyone here seems to be talking about, or at least one of them ends up being.
There's been a lot of blowouts.
Oh man, I feel like it's not just the players; it's the coaches. When you get down to a certain point, they throw everything out the window, and they're like panic mode,
Like the Buffalo coach.
Kind of, yeah. Like the Eagles coach.
Tragic.
Like the Eagles coach. I'm like, dude, I know this is an exaggeration, but damn, dude, throwing the ball 85% of the time when you have a great running back and a monster offensive line, that's an exaggeration. But that's how it feels as an Eagles fan. I'm like, stop throwing the ball. Run the damn ball. I'm so happy to see our offensive and defensive coordinators out. That news gave me a lot of smiles today.
They brought in Ron Rivera for an interview.
Yeah, they did. And he's a situational coach.
My buddy who's a Philly fan at work, he said, what about Eric Bieniemy as OC? Because if the new coach doesn't want to keep him,
Yeah.
he'd be out there. You would have a Commanders reunion up there in Philly.
Yeah. I think
Apologies.
I think you're good. I think that
Eric
Anything
Bieniemy,
is-
Eric Bieniemy in Philly. It happened.
it?
They just signed him. No, I'm just kidding. But my buddy at work was just talking. He was like, they brought in Ron Rivera for an interview to come be the DC, and
That'd be nice.
and then he was like, well, what about Eric Bieniemy? Maybe the new coach won't want to keep him. And I said, what about a little Commanders reunion up there in Philly?
some coaches are situational. I always go back to Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is not a good head coach, but he's a hell of a defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some coaches are just like that. But here's hoping that we pick a couple good, a couple good coordinators because we need them. We need them. They were probably the biggest problems that we had. But finishing this thing up, we got a couple more topics I want to hit on. We're a little bit over, but it's all right. I want to go ahead. I want to hit on a couple MLB topics because we've got the season's close, man.
It's close.
I'm like, players start showing up.
Pitchers and catchers, right?
Yep.
Soon.
They will be there soon.
First
I am
game is on my birthday. Spring training, February 22nd.
I am super excited for it. Couple things I want to talk about because I know some stories are starting to come up about the MLB the closer we're getting to it. The first one I want to talk about is comments that have come out, been made by Anthony Rendon. So Anthony Rendon seems to think that the MLB needs to shorten the season. The 162 games plus playoffs is just too damn much baseball to play. I want your opinions because here's my issue. Anthony Rendon in 2020 signed a massive contract, $275 million or something like that, I think. And since 2020, Anthony Rendon has not played more than 60 games in a season. So really, out of everyone in the MLB, he's probably at the bottom of the list of guys who have the right to gripe about the length of the season.
He's not playing the games. He's on the bench, in his uniform, looking nice, or up in the box watching the game. But
He's just on the ass end of his career. He had a lot of success when he was playing for the Nationals, and I feel like a lot of his prime years, healthy years, came through there. And once they won that title, when Washington won that title, I feel like that whole team, Juan Soto, Strasburg, and all of them, kind of depleted after that and went their separate way. Rendon's a great athlete. He'll probably, have some good numbers for the rest of his career, but he's not the superstar that he was, and I think he wasn't the player that the Angels thought he was going to be.
Well, but back on topic, what do you guys think? Shorten the MLB season. I'll tell you now, the last few years I love baseball. Football was always my sport for the longest time. The last few years, probably the last 3 years, since this dude I know, an awesome sibling I know, took his brother to the World Series for his big brother's first Major League Baseball game ever was Game 4 of the World Series in Atlanta. The most epic of times.
And we won.
Amazing atmosphere. But
shout out to Mr. Andy McDonald. Thank you for those tickets.
We're going to holler at you this year, Andy. I have watched the last 3 years, probably out of 162 regular season games, I'm probably watching 140 of them. I watch a lot of baseball.
Yeah, and Brent might be a little different, but I'm exactly the same way. Football, I love football and basketball to death. You see, how much we talk about them, how much detail we put into our podcast and everything. But MLB has just been, it has like a special spot in my heart. I've been playing baseball since I was, Pee-wee,
it's America's
4 or 5 years old. And
yeah, it's America's pastime, bro.
Now that I appreciate the patience behind the game, the details, I'm able to watch, a full game. Even when I was playing growing up, 15, 16 years old, I didn't even want to watch games because I thought they were boring.
And look, now you're coaching.
Exactly. Now, we're coaching on a team. We're coaching my nephew, his son. The last few years, a lot of success with that. We're doing, big things here. And
but again,
just keep going.
Back on subject.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the MLB? Do you think the MLB should shorten the season? And if so, how much do you think it should be shortened?
I disagree. I think, the set number is 162, and I feel like that gives the teams plenty of time, for ups and downs. Whoever's the best team at the end of the year, that's how many games you have to prove. That's a lot of games.
I say it all the time.
I'd like to shorten it.
You'd like to shorten it?
I would shorten it. I would shorten it because how often do you see too many teams that are you find out are good teams that have a bad April? You can't win the World Series in April, but you can lose it. If you have a bad start to the season, you just dig yourself a hole.
See, I have to disagree with you there.
But I say shorten it to 100 games. Just a clean 100 games.
Goodness.
Yeah, and you still have your divisions. You play
like a COVID year.
A proportional amount, but it raises the stakes for every single game.
So I disagree with you about losing the World Series in April, only because the last year, actually no, 2 years ago, the Braves, we started out with a terrible April, and we went into May and had a pretty lackluster May till we got towards the end of it. It took us almost 2 months to gain traction to really start going. And did we squeak in at the end?
What if your time had run out? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had a short season.
And that's what I'm saying. Throughout ups and downs. Well, I think the 162, especially if you're able to play and you have, that healthy team and just, that good atmosphere, it gives you the time to have those ups and downs, even if you're a great team. Like you said, a few years ago, we had our slump, but by the end of the year, we had that streak.
And that's what I
rode into the playoffs.
That's what I tell everybody, especially people who don't watch baseball very much, and they're asking questions about like what does baseball truly entail. I'm like, baseball is simply streaks and slumps. That is at its core. That is what baseball is. Baseball is a game of streaks and slumps. You get hot, you try to ride the heat out as long as you can. You get cold, you try to do anything you can to get back to the fire. That's baseball. And I think I agree with Donnie. I think that's why you need those extra games, is to give your team the same chances as everyone else to try to minimize your slumps and maximize your streaks.
What do you think, like, fans might, like, it's a Tuesday night game, I don't really care. Do you think it might increase fan engagement?
Maybe some, but for me...
Keep it during the summer, because that's a family thing to do. The stadium's open. But those games in April when it's still kind of cold... and
I guess it depends on the caliber of fan.
You're playing the World Series like at Halloween. It's like,
nah, I disagree there completely. I'm like, damn, World Series can be 20 degrees, and if I have the ability to go, I'm.
You couldn't make October baseball, September baseball.
It's just
But you spend the whole you spend September basically with call ups, getting ready for the playoffs. Why not just start the playoffs then? Forget September call-ups. Let's just do it from May to September. Summer, you still have your boys in summer. Insanely competitive. There's no salary cap in baseball.
Nah, just luxury tax.
There's luxury tax, obviously. But if you just make it a sprint, it's almost like NASCAR. Just like best to 100. Like who's going to have the best game? You do your playoffs.
I think that
could, because it's hard for MLB fans to watch games. Like it's so disjointed with all these regional sports networks, and you get blacked out. All these, and they make baseball hard to watch if you're a fan of said team. Like
to some extent, I will say, off topic kind of, but MLB TV has made it really easy.
Yeah,
the one thing I will say, I hate watching us play the Nationals because we got to watch it on MASN. It's a terrible network. Their commentators are garbage every time you watch them. Like
because they're pro nat.
Dude, the thing is, if you play in Atlanta and your team is beating the hell out of Atlanta, the sportscasters, they tell you, like, hey, Atlanta's, we're not looking good. They're looking good against us, though. That was a good play they just had. That turn two was one of the best I've seen all season. You go to the Nationals, we were beating the hell out of the Nationals by like 9 runs in the 8th inning at one point, and they were talking shit about the productivity of our team, and I was like, stop. What do you mean? Are you guys watching the same game? Like, do you have a TV on in there watching a game from like last year or something? Because you're not watching the same game that's happening right now. I hate watching it on MASN. But I see your side of the side of things.
I'm just an agent of chaos. I would just love to see it just uproot it all, make MLB more. It's a little staunchy. It's a little old. You've got a lot of purists who just love baseball the way it is. It's fairly highly protected. It's
America's pastime, man.
Exactly. And so people are very
like
upper crust about it. It's
it's an agent of chaos. I like that.
Tear it all apart. 100 games, NASCAR, unlimited money, best to 100. Let's just tear it all apart.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of glad that they don't change things like that as far as, the guys that run the show and everything. I'm glad MLB has been the same for so long. I'm very thankful for that. One thing real quick that I'm super excited to be absolutely done with, the ghost runner on second base.
Yeah.
In extra innings.
They got rid of that?
That was a
COVID rule,
That was a COVID rule. For a COVID season only. A year that we probably should have made the World Series. Okay. Dodgers won. I'll forever say that's an asterisk against their name because we went and did it the next year. Full season. Won the whole thing. I feel like that is a true championship. But that rule has just, grinded me the wrong way for so long. And, I just don't agree with it, especially because if I can explain something real quick for you guys that know baseball, tie game, pitcher has, a lot of abilities, healthy, comes out, and for the 10th inning, guy's on second, ghost runner's on second. All right, guy hits a ground ball to shortstop, runner advances to third, that should be 1 out. Say there's no runner, should be 1 out. Ground ball to second, the guy scores, throw him out, that should be 2 outs. And then the next guy grounds out to shortstop. Should be 1, 2, 3 inning, but however, the runner scores. Next inning, guy comes in that throws nothing but gas, 102 all day, and goes gas, 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 strikeout, 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 game over. When in reality, it should have been 1, 2, 3 inning, 1, 2, 3 inning, let's go on to the next inning. I hate that as a baseball fan. It should never have been implied, and the fact that it was even there for half a year just made the whole game.
Well, I think they were trying to speed up the game. The same thing with the implementation of the pitch clock.
You shouldn't do that in a full season because you're taking away a part of the game. I like seeing games to go 18, 19 innings because it's very rare. It's one of the better things to happen during the year. If you see a 3-4 overtime game in basketball, that doesn't happen. You like watching that because it's so edgy, especially if your team's in it and it's 11-11 in the 17th inning. Dude, no ghost run. I keep watching that because it doesn't happen that often, and stuff like that. I'm just so happy.
But do you think, when I talk about fan engagement, do you think bringing that game time down instead of making it a 5-hour game.
But that's very rare. Like I said,
I know what you're saying, but there's
often.
been some I'm a Red Sox fan. You know how many Red Sox Yankees games went forever?
Hold on.
For a 9-inning game.
I'll counter you real quick. How they did better with game management, game clock management last year was a record. The least amount of time per game ever recorded in history because pitch clock. And that was a way to speed the game up. They don't need that extra. Yeah, they don't need the extra inning rule now.
I hated it when it first started. By the end of the season, I was like, this was a good idea.
Because it did speed games up, and it really made me want to watch games because it went like this.
Well, isn't the Ghost Runner thing the same kind of?
But you don't need that. You don't need that rule implied, especially with the pitch clock and a full season. And we're not trying to speed up games in that aspect. You don't change the whole game of baseball because of one little thing that happened. I'm glad that they're getting back to normal. They're getting back to how baseball should be played. I like the pitch clock thing as far as the game flow and how much it speeds up the regular innings in the game. But extra inning-wise, I really like it getting back to how it used to be.
New rule for the season, I guess.
That being said, sorry. Apparently, Carson's not happy he can't come down here during the podcast and say.
I know, he's been asking me.
So, that kind of closes up the topic, Rendon, shortening the season. I do want to throw a couple real quick shout-outs. Ronald Acuna. Love Ronald. I've had my ups and downs with him. I know he's your boy. Ronald Acuna videos coming out. Ronald Acuna working this offseason on a little switch move. Videos have come out. Ronald Acuna hitting dingers, batting switch. That's going to be interesting. Like, just to add another thing to the repertoire.
That's not fair.
Let him do it every now and then, see what happens.
Absolutely, that's crazy. On top of that, I do want to say, MVP, this is from a guy, I know I'm a huge collector. You can't see on camera my big collection I have over there. Big baseball card collector. They have announced Ronald Acuna is the cover athlete for top Series 1 cards this year. Super happy about that. Super happy for my guy, Ronald. Do you realize that Ronald, because of the MVP race, if you had received one of Ronald's base cards of the Topps Chrome at the end of the season, you could turn that into your local card store for a $20 credit to buy more cards. $20 for a base card because he got MVP and he had such a stellar season.
Pretty sweet.
I loved it.
Pretty sweet.
I kept mine though. I was like,
yeah.
Everybody was like, dude, take it back. Dude, go get your $20. I was like, why? I love the base card. It's a badass card.
This guy's going to be a Hall of Fame.
I like it.
If he stays healthy.
Yep, I liked it. And I don't know if you guys saw on your phones, I'm sure if y'all are on getting ESPN notifications, just a little while ago after we started the pod, you seeing this?
Yeah, I think I saw it. It was the last.
Oh, Hall of Fame.
MLB Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. 3 new inductees.
Beltre, Mauer, Helton.
Yeah,
Love to see Adrian Beltre.
Yeah. Joe Mauer, Todd Helton.
Congratulations.
Class act guys.
Absolutely. Congrats to all.
Possible. No cheating involved. No, doing the extra stuff. They were class acts on and off the field. They definitely deserved every bit of that. So
most definitely.
That's awesome.
Again, another shout out to them. Beltre, Mauer, Helton. Congratulations, 2024 MLB Hall of Fame inductees. All right, well, fellas, we're over a bit. That's what happens. I feel like that's the SportsBites thing now.
Well, you get 3 of us in here. We can just get you going.
Yeah, we had a little bit extra few minutes on the...
I'm not blaming the snacks. I'm like I said, it took me 15 minutes last time.
Are we going to review the snack? You got a number?
Yeah. No. Oh, I'm already on
ready,
it.
For the dips or for the pretzels?
All of it. I didn't do the poblano. Poblano
was good.
But we're going to run through them. We're going to run through the numbers real quick. Again, pretzel's not my thing, but I will say the dots. I'm giving the dots a solid 6. Snyder's, I'm going 6.5. I do kind of like that.
I've been eating a ton of these. I thought they were very oniony.
Yeah,
I've been over here killing them.
Yeah, they started building up.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
We've got the Taste of the South fried pickle and ranch dip. I gotta go. That's like a 3.5 for me. I think that bite. I think the bite that I got that solid. The bite I got with the solid pickles kind of messed it up.
You gotta love pickles.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah,
pickles.
I'm not digging the pickles. I love ranch, but I don't dig the pickles.
Like it, though.
I'm saying the winner of the night though, Taste of the South, Smokehouse beef brisket dip. This right here is a solid 8. I could eat that dip with that spoon right now.
I was thinking about it. I was like, what could I put that inside of grilled cheese?
Oh, God, dude, stop.
Light layer.
Yeah,
Stop.
you got your cheddar, and then smear some of that on the inside, and then grill it up just like a regular grilled cheese.
Bro, stop.
With some tomato soup or
Giving
something.
me ideas.
No. So,
Brisket,
the pretzels I'll put both. All right. So my review for the pretzel, I'm gonna give the dots a 7. I'm gonna give these an 8. They're very good.
Digging on them.
I ate a bunch of them.
All Indian at the beginning.
The dips, I'm gonna get the poblano dip like a 5. It was good, not wonderful, but good. It sounds good with some nachos. Pickle dip, it's like a 7 because I love pickles.
You like
Fair enough.
pickles.
And then the brisket dip, 8.5. Yeah, I mean, I can just see that on a Ritz cracker, just
anything.
on just anything.
Yeah. Anything bagel.
Flip flop.
Maybe a little anything bagel.
Like tortilla chip. Don't matter. That was very good.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
What you got, Don?
Well, I'll say for the pretzels, I'll give them both a solid 8, just because I love dots to death. You're not like the best in the world, but that's probably my go-to snack if I'm ever watching a game or anything like that. As far as the dips, they made the pretzel combination fantastic. I was actually doing a little bit of the brisket mixed with the poblanco, and that made almost a 9.5, 10 if you want to do the combination combination score.
Yeah, okay.
As far as just singular scores on the dip, I definitely give the brisket a 9, poblanco a 7, and the pickle a 5.
Fair enough. That's some good reviews. That's some good snacks.
You got to be a pickle guy to like those.
It's good if we're all eating it throughout the whole time.
Oh, golly, yeah.
Munching on it.
I'm like, for a guy who talked about I don't really like pretzels, and y'all loaded me down,
right?
and I've eaten almost all of them.
I just ate it.
Well, fellas, like I said, we ran over a little bit tonight, but this has been great conversation tonight. I have liked this format. What do you guys think?
I loved it.
I have
I
really
enjoyed
enjoyed
it a lot.
this. This has been really fun.
It's been a lot of fun.
Should definitely.
I think we're going to
Keep
try
it
to
going.
keep moving along with this. Maybe bring some more talent in to kind of debate with you guys and debate with some other people, and really kind of open the doors up, kind of build our own stable we got going on around here. I think that's a good direction. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys watching have really enjoyed this. This has been a lot of fun. A lot of good things to hit on tonight. Just like we opened, got to close the same way. Throw it out there. Like and subscribe. We want to get these subscriptions. We want to get this giveaway done. I want to give some stuff away. Let's get these 50.
Yeah, he's got a special surprise for you guys. Let's go.
I want to get this going. I'm like, I know people love free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff? Free stuff is the best. You don't even have to. You don't got to pay nothing. Just subscribe, and you're in. That's all it is.
So your comments or your top 5, your NBA fans.
Yes.
Anything you have questions about, any snacks you want to see, anything like
Want
that.
to see the comments
We like
with the
the
top
comments.
5. I really want to see the comments with the top 5. Comment with the best top 5 gets a shout out next podcast.
Or a snack.
There you go. And with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of this tonight. We really appreciate it. We've really enjoyed this. I've had a lot of fun. Don, thank you so much. Brent,
No problem.
you're the man. Appreciate you
No
guys.
problem.
As always, thank you so much. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I say it one last time. We want to get this thing rolling and rocking and rolling for everybody. The bigger we get, the better you guys are going to get the giveaways, the prizes, everything. We want to be huge. We want to be your #1 sports podcast. And with that, I say we are SportsBites, your self-proclaimed #1 sports podcast, bringing you the best of both worlds, sports and snacks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Y'all have a great night.
Have a good one.
Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag. Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag.